That we're joined now by Professor Shmuel Marko, Professor at the Department of Geophysics at Tel Aviv University. Thank you very much indeed. And if we could speak first of all about the earthquakes in Turkey, would you agree that this was the strongest such quake to hit that country in many decades? We're having a little bit of a sound problem there. We're trying to get through to Professor Marko. I'm not sure if you can hear me. We want to speak to him, obviously, about the history of earthquakes in this part of the world, as we're dealing with one of the worst earthquakes to hit the region in many years. Professor Marko, can you hear me now?
Yes,
you can hear me now. You can hear me and I can hear you. That's brilliant. I was just asking you about these two earthquakes. Are these the strongest to have hit Turkey in many decades?
Yes, but we have to remember that Turkey is a huge place, and the latest earthquakes happened in other places. This particular segment of the fault, which is called the East Anatolian Fault, has not sustained a significant earthquake in about 850 years. The last one was in 1157. And in the 12th century, we know about an earthquake in 1115, 1138, and then 1157. Since then, it's been quiet. And a quiescence along a fault zone means that the plates accumulate stress, and this stress that accumulates over several centuries was released today. It is unfortunate that we are along similar situation in Israel. The Dead Sea Fault, which is part of it is between the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea, also has not seen a significant earthquake, a strong earthquake, for about 1,000 years, since 1033.
So you would say Israel is due a large earthquake soon. It hasn't had an earthquake, a serious one, for around 100 years. Is that right?
Yes, but the one about 100 years ago in July 1927 was a moderate one. When we're talking about strong ones like the ones that happened in Turkey, the recurrence is about 1,500 years, but we are 1,000 years since the last one. So the danger is large.
Is
the
Israel
stress has accumulated?
Is Israel prepared for a major earthquake?
It's partly prepared, and it's quite interesting that a major trigger for preparedness was a couple of earthquakes that happened in Turkey in 1999, not far from Istanbul, east of Istanbul. And a committee was formed, and it is supposed to coordinate the activities of the different government agencies and ministries. We also have developed a system for early warning, but this is good only when the earthquake is already happened.
Well, right, I was going to ask you, can you predict earthquakes? Is there the science to predict earthquakes yet?
There is no way to predict earthquakes before they start. No way. And it's inherent in the physics of the process. And the earthquake, we have to remember that it's a rupture in the earth crust. So when the earthquake ruptures, when the crust breaks, it takes a long time, sometimes hundreds of years, to heal. And when the next earthquake comes, the conditions are already different because it's a crust that broke once and was healed. So each earthquake meets a condition that never happened before.
Just briefly, Professor, because I want to ask you this. We've just had these two very strong earthquakes. Could they trigger other earthquakes in the region?
It happens very often that one earthquake triggers another one because each earthquake changes the stress regime around it. So in some places, the stresses are elevated. In some places, they are reduced. And in places that they are elevated, sometimes they generate an earthquake because the place was on the brink of rupturing. And this last earthquake just added the last straw that was needed to break also.
Professor Marco, we're out of time, but we appreciate it. Very interesting and very terrifying as well. But thank you very much indeed, Professor Marco.
Thank you.